Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back. 6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Want to get it off your chest? You're in the right place. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun, sprinkled with a lot of laughs? Heard in every state in the Union and 1,000 cities around the world. We just finished 16 years of broadcast excellence, now in our 17th year. The Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. Man with many hats has no time to hang his head. Donald Trump graduated from a good boss during his presidential high school term from 2016 to 2020 to a PhD earned in the following 4 years in mastering the most coveted honor in the world, President of the United States of America. And some might say, like I, the benevolent king of the world. His final test on July 13th, 2024, when he was shot at 8 times in Butler, Pennsylvania, and survived either with amazing luck or, as he and I see it, an anointing of God. The spilling of blood on one's right ear, right hand, and right big toe is what God told Moses to do to his brother Aaron, only using ram's blood. It's in the Bible, in Leviticus. You can actually look it up. I did. Trump commented on this Tuesday night, and he believes this was God's doing, and in my mind, his final test to be God's representative to the crazy world after the evil, sick Biden, Kamala, Obama, also known as the latter's third term. If you witnessed the evil acting out of the Democrats on Tuesday night, you saw the Democrats with cluttered signs, some but not all with pink uniforms, and Al Green standing up with his cane, refusing to stand down as he waved that cane at Trump. When they required him to leave, embarrassing anyone left in that hellish party, the Democrat Party, Trump reached out to the devil and tried to turn their minds, but they refused him as they turned their backs on him, America, and in my opinion, God. Only God is privy to their destiny if they don't turn their hearts. Remember, when you reach for the stars, you have to look up.
The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
Okay, it's the Dave Weinbaum Show. It's Friday. Wait a minute. It's not Friday, is it?
It's not.
What the hell are we doing here?
We have no idea.
Wait a minute. How do we all
We have no idea.
screw this up so badly all together? Oh, my goodness.
I think we got our days.
JP, it can't be Friday. Now it's Thursday.
Thursdays or
It's Thursday.
we talked about maybe like pre-Friday.
What are we going to do now?
something?
Wednesday? And Monday, Dave? I don't think it works.
No.
Sunday, Dave?
Nope. Nope.
No.
They can't all be your days.
And look at this. Look at this. I got to show this close up because I was pulling out a big old. I don't know if I can get this right. I was pulling out a big old mouthwash bottle, plastic bottle, and I scraped my hand on the well and superly sharp top of that cabinet, and I took a chunk out of my hand. So my lovely bride, who is, and she hates me to say this, she's a minister, and she's subject to being a minister that wants to convert people to Christianity, and it even mentions it, Jews. Okay, so I'm wondering if this thing, because I had to get another Band-Aid, it was bleeding again, and my director of operations was in, and she gave me a Band-Aid. So I put it in an appropriate spot, and then I'm wondering, is my wife going to think now I converted because I have a cross on my hand?
It was Ash Wednesday just yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Well, that has to go on your forehead, and it's got to be ashes, right?
Correct, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking. Now it is coming up St. Pat's, right? Well, I got to tell you that last year, instead of like I did last year, instead of putting my "Kiss Me, I'm Irish" badge, I put a "Kiss Me, I'm Jewish" button. I was kissed twice and beat up 14 times. Actually, the year before that, it was 10 times. Things are getting worse for us Jews out there, I'll tell you what. All right. Yeah, it's sad. Very sad. Very sad. We got a great show coming up. We got J.J. Bradshaw going to move into the his regular spot today because it's Thursday. And he's coming out on 8:10. We got Moshe Rothschild, Rabbi Moshe, 8:40. We've got Chris Adamo at 9:30. And we got a special deal going for Richard C. Lockwood, and that's going to be all about. That's going to be about Elon Musk a lot. I actually did this interview via Grok 3. I asked questions about that, and I got most of my questions out of Grok about Elon, all his businesses, and all that other stuff. Okay, now somebody's edging to be on, and somebody's sending me messages like crazy. Wow. Okay, we're going to talk first to this gentleman. In fact, I found this now. They're starting to throw away my stuff. I don't like that. I had to take stuff out of the garbage like this. And that's sort of like sentimental right there, right? You know that?
I left that out of the trash. I threw the other stuff away.
Don't throw it away.
I didn't throw that away. I left that out.
You left this out.
I did.
Okay. What happened to this stuff? It was sitting in the trash.
I threw that away.
This?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to throw it away. That's why it's there.
Well, it's ripped up paper.
I don't care. It's notes. It's notes, and I use these things. I have quotes and jokes in these things. Okay? So you don't like it? I wondered who did that. Oh, my God.
The person trying to clean up
No.
after you, as always.
And meanwhile, this gentleman is looking at me like, what are you, nuts? You want me here to talk, not for you to talk, so I'm going to get right with it. This man is an expert. He's an expert on the Constitution. And we have a lot of Constitution to talk about today on some of the rulings that are coming down from the Supreme Court, no less. And he is 300 or two. Well, he's not over 300, I can tell you that, but he's 256 years old. He hasn't quite made it to 360, but we're hoping. And he'll still be collecting Social Security by then, apparently. So please welcome, all the way from Rolla, Missouri, my friend John Jeffrey Bradshaw.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, JJ. How are you?
You know, it's been a busy week. I'm doing pretty well in the process of quietly drowning in all the stuff that's coming out of Washington. But It's a good kind of drowning.
Wow.
They're throwing it at us faster than we can absorb it.
Yeah.
I have a little update from last Friday after the show was done. In the Oval Office, Zelensky, Vance, and Trump had a little powwow.
They did? After the show?
Yeah, that occurred after the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so we didn't get to cover it, but
Right.
In essence, they beat up Zelensky and sent him to the curb
Yeah.
because he tried to renegotiate what was considered to be a done minerals deal in front of network television.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you do that in Eastern Europe. I don't know, but we don't do that in the United States. So he was sent packing and has since come back, tail between his hind legs, saying, yeah, maybe we ought to do this. Well, fella, Trump drives a pretty good bargain, and you're not going to win. So if I was you, I would capitulate, sign the damn deal, and let's be done with this.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I was thinking that this guy, the oligarchs there and him have stolen probably maybe $1 billion or $2 of those dollars that went in, maybe more, maybe less. And I don't have any proof of that, except that they're like that.
Mhm.
So you might think that there would be an accounting for him, and I thought he might be disappearing instead of confessing.
I think
because
he may be booted out as president, and perhaps that's a righteous thing.
Well, they've had no elections there since this war.
Well, he declared martial law, so that takes care of that.
But I was listening to something just before the show. Two Washington Post experts both blamed Trump for this because he's a bully.
It's
And
the Washington
I'm
Post.
listening to this thing. I said,
It's the
what?
Washington Post, Dave. What do you
They
expect?
not know that this was a done deal?
Yeah.
That this wasn't supposed to happen, and everybody was in agreement that the deal would be signed. This was ceremonial. They even had lunch for everybody ready. And
I think he took his Big Mac and got back in the limousine and left.
yeah.
Now, to this week, obviously the biggest news of this week, the one that made the headlines anyway, is Trump's speech in the joint session of Congress. And there was an awful lot that went on there, and I'm prepared to talk about some bits and pieces of it that I found to be interesting.
Please.
You mentioned in your monologue, Al Green got escorted out. Now, a lot of people don't know who Al Green is, but he's a nut job. Mayor of Houston, I think, at one time. He's a Democrat from Texas. And radical, crazy man. How they elect these people is beyond me. But of course, he attempted to disrupt the session and got escorted out by William McFarland,
He
who
was
is
waving a cane. He was waving a cane at Trump like he was going to come kill him.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
The
This guy
guy's a
going to
nut
jump
job,
over.
but he's fairly representative of the Democrats that sat in that
yeah.
auspicious dome. You note that they all sat. They wouldn't even stand for some really heart-wrenching stuff. And I'm sure they were all instructed to do that by their gulag leaders.
How do you not stand for Laken Riley's family, the murdered?
How could you not stand for
Great.
DJ, who was made a
DJ.
Secret Service agent
By
at
the way,
age 13?
you know where they live? They
I
live
do
in
not.
they live in Al Green's district. Him and his
Well,
dad.
aren't you well
Okay.
represented?
Yeah.
But one of the things that struck me is a lot of the Democrat women were instructed to wear pink or red, ostensibly in solidarity for women's rights. However, there was a bill called Protection of Women and Girls Sports Act, which was initiated by Tommy Tuberville, of course, Republican, needed 60 votes in the Senate to pass. 51 to 45 was the vote. Every single Democrat voted against that bill. So tell me, how is it, Democrat ladies, that you could wear pink in support of women's rights and then vote down a bill which would have supported women's rights? How do you do that? Well, you do that because you are the party of the insane. And I've been reading an awful lot this last week after that speech. Oh my God, the comments just flew. And the Democrats they're losing support big time, even from their moderate base.
Yeah.
Now, the left-wing nut jobs still support them, and they always will because, well, Dave, they're left-wing nut jobs. They're going to support them. But I got a little bit of statistics I want to read to you.
Please.
That support what I just had to say. Are you ready?
Yes.
This was a CBS News YouGov poll. Now, CBS News is kind of a left-leaning, although they claim to be mainstream news media. And YouGov is more or less centrist pollsters. This is taken the day after Trump's speech. And here we go. 77% support his plan to cut government waste and spending. 77% back his immigration and border policies. 76% approved of his speech. 76% approved of removing congressmen who interrupted his speech. 74% say his speech was presidential.
Wow.
And it was. 73% support his stance on Russia and Ukraine. 68% say it made them feel hopeful and proud. 68% says he has a clear plan to tackle inflation. 68% says he accurately described America's crime crisis. And finally, 63% says he focused on issues they care about. This is a poll.
How big are those numbers?
They're huge,
in the
Dave.
polling world.
They are
They're
absolutely huge.
Yeah.
If Biden had been in that same position, he would have gotten numbers on the order of 40%. Of course, he's an idiot. Trump came through in this thing just shining.
Oh,
it looked like a campaign speech. It looked like a rally speech, but it was done.
It was a speech of a master. This guy is now mastered this job.
This is not his first rodeo, Dave.
PhD, baby. He's a PhD now. Last time he was an excellent high school graduate. Now he's a PhD.
You know, that speech, Gene and I watched every scrap of it. And then we watched a little bit of the Democrat rebuttal. I turned her off after about 10 minutes. But the Dems came to this thing with nothing, a few signs, and ordered to sit through the entirety of it and perhaps throw some catcalls at him. And Trump slid right over that, steamrolled them. They came off looking like idiots. And their behavior in this thing was like a bunch of 6-year-olds. Shame on you, Democrat Party. you got nothing to go on. You got nothing that the United States of America citizens want, nothing. And you showed it at that thing.
And they keep digging the hole. You would
Don't they
think they
though,
would have
Dave?
gotten it by now. It's like getting to be almost 2 months, and you think they'd have a clue as to what's going on. They're
The
still
co-chair,
doing it, and they're digging deeper and deeper and deeper.
the co-chair of the DNC said in a meeting the other day that it's not their policies that stink, that people don't want, it's their presentation. Well, Dave, I can tell you, you can wrap this bit of feces up any way you want.
Yeah.
And it's their presentation is not going to matter because they have nothing. They have twisted their party up around far left, crazy stuff that the mainstream Americans don't want any part of.
Right.
Consider DEI, consider white privilege, consider all these things that these people have politicked on for years.
Yeah.
And the United States of America's citizens have thoroughly and completely rejected that nonsense.
Sure.
Good for us. It's about time that the mainstream America people actually had a voice in all of this stuff. Now, Trump, God, I love the guy.
Yeah.
Remember Abbey Gate? Abbey Gate was as we were leaving Afghanistan in that disgusting manner.
Yes.
And a terrorist suicide bomber blew himself up, killed
That's
13
him.
Americans. The guy that was the mastermind for that is a fellow named Mohammed Shakifar, or
Okay.
Shakifullah. I don't do Arabic very well, but our intelligence communication or departments communicated with Pakistan, where the guy was hiding out, and extradited him to the United States of America.
Yeah.
Bondi and Patel were there to meet the plane and welcome him
And
to
Ratcliffe
the justice system of the United
Ratcliffe was
States.
the guy that cooperated with the Pakistanis to find him.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now, our relationship with the Pakistanis has not been good for an awful long time.
Which is another
How
good
they-
thing.
How
That's
they
something
managed to get over this, I don't know. It's probably
Well,
some
that's
of
Trump
Trump's
approached
magic.
it that way. That you know what, we don't get along with them, but let's see what will happen if we ask them to cooperate with this. Well, now they're getting along a little better, so
Well,
that's
we
an
have
opening.
We have a powerful leader sitting in the Oval Office now
Yep.
instead of somebody who's a sock puppet.
Yep.
So this is amazing to me because they rounded this guy up. He is Monday going to be in front of a judge to be arraigned and faces a potential of life imprisonment
Sure.
in our country.
If they're in D.C., they'll let him out in one day.
I don't think so. This is a new regime.
Okay.
Yes, the different sheriff in
They
town,
got the
Dave.
same judges and the same juries as they did
This
for
is-
1-6. I wonder about
this
that
is-
now.
This is federal, and we've got new federales here that actually are interested in the Constitution and in providing justice. I'm so pleased about that.
Yeah.
Our Doge numbers are up to 105 billion
Yeah.
that they have actually managed to get back into the coffers of the United States.
Uh-huh.
We had a little Supreme Court decision the other day that surprised me until I looked at it a little closer. The court 5-4 ruled that we have to pay some of these contracts that were done through USAID.
And we're up to $2 billion with a B.
Yeah, about $2 billion. When I got to looking into it a little deeper, though, what the Supreme Court said was you're going to pay these contracts that have already been executed. Those services have already been delivered. Okay, I might buy that. They made no mention of contracts that are pending that have not yet been billed, and I think our executive branch is well within their rights to not pay those. So it's mixed bag from the Supreme Court. I was a little surprised.
It's a presidential decision, and
What's
they got it wrong. One of the Supreme Court justices was absolutely shocked
He was
that
stunned.
the Supreme Court would rule to take away $2 billion away from taxpayers. He wrote it like that too,
Yeah.
and and send it to groups that are, giving circumcisions to grasshoppers or something like that,
Yeah, the Supreme Court more or less got it wrong. It was mixed. Will I hold it against them? No, I think they have our country's best interest in mind. But I was a little surprised about that.
There's 3 or 4 of them that are very shaky.
Let's talk about
You're a constitutional expert.
Epstein for a minute.
Yeah.
Pam Bondi released a couple of 100 pages of Epstein stuff a while back, phase 1.
Yeah,
that was already available. And then she discovered a whistleblower in the FBI office in New York that about 2,000 pages of transcripts, photographs, all manner of things was being held by them. Now, she said on network television that she had been assured by the FBI that everything Epstein had been given to her. Well, of course, she got lied to by these folks. Patel was ordered by her to look into this. Not only did the man send them a strongly worded letter and a phone call, he went to their offices and said, hand it over, boys. And remember, there are going to be repercussions for you holding out on this. As a result, there are 10 FBI people pretty high up in that New York office that are suspended. They are working with pay from home now. And I'll bet you a nickel that their security clearances get yanked within the next couple of days.
And they'll probably be fired.
They will ultimately, or they will resign.
So where are the papers? Who's got them?
Bondi has got them right now, and she's got a team of lawyers going through them to make sure that those who are innocent are redacted.
Right, and you're talking about a lot of
a couple thousand pages.
Yeah, and there's a lot of criminal stuff that went on.
This is a woman, and Kash Patel, of course, is her minion.
Yeah.
That doesn't screw around, kind of like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
This is the FAFO, and we won't say what that is, but you're going to find out. And good, she has taken action against these criminal FBI agents, including the chief of that field office, who is, I'm sure, sitting at home listening to this show right now, wondering what happened to him. Good for you, Pam. Good for you, Kash. We all want to know about Epstein and the Kennedys.
That's the interesting thing is that they've gotten all these people that are really good, really talented. That's the other thing Trump has done is he's surrounded himself with people that are of like kind, who are not afraid to get into it, and who will do what's right for the American people without having to push them to do it. You there?
What I want out of my government, and this is the Congress, the courts, and the executive branch, is the best and brightest. That's what we deserve. That's what we should attract. And I think Donald Trump has managed to do that in spades. Congratulations to you. Some of them, I was a little surprised, managed to get through the Senate vote, but they managed to get it done. And he has got some wonderkind there, folks that are not going to accept no, folks that are not going to accept, well, this is the way we've always done it.
Yep.
Well, the way you've always done it is done badly. Perhaps we ought to try a different horse under this saddle, eh? Our southern border, Pete Hegseth, I like him. Sent another 5,005 troops to the southern border to assist the Border Patrol and ICE in their quiet closing of the border. Our numbers are down to practically nothing.
Incredible.
As far as illegals entering this country.
That this would be this quick. And now we've pretty much declared war on the cartels.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
It's amazing.
Let's talk about a little bit of leftist garbage, and that is National Public Radio and PBS.
Yeah.
Those have turned into left-leaning organizations. They don't even try to hide it anymore. I occasionally listen to NPR until some socialist garbage comes on, and then I turn it off. But everybody knows that this is a left-leaning operation,
Sure.
and it's publicly funded. So Senator John Kennedy, a Republican from Louisiana, has introduced a, quote, no propaganda act to pull the funding, which is about $500 million a year for NPR and PBS. If you folks claim that you are fair and balanced, like Fox News used to say, then how about you fund yourself through donations? They came back and said most of our funding is by donations, in which time he said, fine, how about we pull the federal funding from you and you can survive on donations? Oh my God, they howled. Will they shut down?
Yeah.
Nah, probably not. Will they swing back towards the middle? Yeah, I think the pressure is very high on them to do just that.
Yeah.
So good for you, John Kennedy, Republic from Louisiana. I think you're doing a good job there, and you're taking care of a problem that's been a thorn in my side for a good long while. Frankly, I'd listen to blues and rock and roll before I'd listen to their propaganda garbage.
Well, I think that goes with you listening to rock and roll above even conservative stuff at times.
Well, yeah, you got to have some music. You got to have some music playing in your head.
You're a rock and roll kind of guy,
Classic rock. Yeah, it was just plain old rock and roll back in the day.
That's right.
This week has been an amazement to me. Like the past couple of months have been an amazement to me. The stuff is flying at us so fast. And you read this stuff, you listen to this stuff. We're both interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're quietly drowning in this stuff because Trump deals those cards faster than any of them can read what's on the face of them.
But look at me, I'm smiling. Okay.
Well, so am I.
I wasn't smiling for a long time. We're talking about decades.
This is the best kind of problem to have if you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Now, this is Thursday.
Yeah.
At 6:30 p.m. this Thursday. The Banquet for Life is occurring over at the Hayner Center.
Thanks for reminding me.
And I highly recommend
I'll be there too.
I'll bet I'll see you there.
Well, I think you're at my table.
I think so. This, for folks that might not know, Joe and Jane Dalton run a pretty tight ship over there, and they are saving babies' lives. If you haven't supported this, please support this. This is good stuff, and it's 100% local. You're not sending your money off to New York City. This happens right here.
And it's the best pregnancy resource center in the world.
Is it really?
Not, it's close.
I was not aware of that statistic.
They're teaching other pregnancy resource centers, how to do it. I mean, they have a house. They have a house for women that decided to keep their babies, as most of all of them do. It's like 99% or something like that.
They're effective.
They help them after the baby is born. Mm-hmm. They house them. They find them jobs. They do all sorts of things for them after the baby, and they're like considered family.
One of those babies may grow up to be the president of the United States, so do not kill them.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Democrats. You love women, right? You're supposed to love women.
I do love women.
You want to have women presidents and this and that. Half of the babies that are aborted, guess what? They're women. They're baby girls.
Yeah.
Potential leaders, and you're getting rid of half of them. It's a real conundrum, isn't it?
It is. If we look at the history of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, who founded that thing, was a eugenicist. She wanted to eliminate Black children so to rebalance the population.
Sure.
If you look at that, and that is Planned Parenthood is Joe and Jane's nemesis, and rightfully so. I think PRC is winning that battle, one baby at a time, but I'm willing to go with that. That's all right with me.
Yeah.
So I hope to see them this evening. I will see you this evening. This should be an uplifting affair.
I got to go home and take a nap.
Well, I may have to as well.
Yeah.
A lot going on today, Dave. I'm afraid the politics is flying fast.
You got it. All right,
And
listen,
I'll be-
buddy. I
I'll
got to
be
get going. I
smiling.
got the rabbi coming. I got to run some commercials.
Roger
And,
that.
thank you so much. The opening act, actually, for the Dave Weinbaum Show, John Jeffrey Bradshaw. Let's hear it for him.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure.
Thank you, my
Dave.
friend. I'll see you later tonight.
See you soon.
All right, bye-bye. Hey, we need to do commercials, please, JP.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy, but also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate. At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor, and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper. Fresh savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Maybe it's for a kitchen you've always wanted. Maybe it's just to have a little extra room. Whatever the reason you're considering a new home loan, it's good to know that Town & Country Bank will guide you in the right direction. Our experienced local lenders are here to help you with a new home construction, remodeling projects, and fixed and adjustable rate home loans. You can even start the process online by clicking Online Mortgage Center at tcbanks.com. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, we're back, and I'm waiting for the rabbi. He's not on yet. See, this is what happens sometimes when you move your day, and they forget it, and then you're screwed up here. Maybe you can contact him via that. Did he okay it?
He saw it.
All right, well, ready for you. That's good. We'll see what happens. He's active, 15 days ago? I don't think we'll see him. Anyways, all right. If you want to call the show, by the way, it's 573-578-2700. That's 573-578-2700. And yes, you can call if you're a liberal. Just don't cuss me out or stuff like that.
Well,
it's been done.
You can also leave us a comment on a few different ways. You can do it on Facebook, you can do it on X, YouTube, and also on Rumble. Did want to make sure and let everybody know, apologize for the technical issues that we had. It was during last week's show, it was a pretty significant issue. Luckily, we were able to get the issue fixed, and that's why everything is working smooth this week. So thanks to our local show or to the local music store, Mets Music, for making the repairs that we needed. So.
And the interesting thing is we had a good turnout last week. I mean, we had a kick butt show. We're on TikTok because of my son, and we're on YouTube because of my son. That's Aaron Weinbaum, and we're also on Rumble. Because of JP. And by the way, I want to say hello to Rick Henderson out there. In Salem, Missouri. He does all the bits and the clips, and he was telling us yesterday. Well, see, I had to wait for the clips that I could get from Tuesday night's Trump speech. And as a matter of fact, while we've got the time, let's play a couple of the Trump clips.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country. And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525. On a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
President's speech. Some members of Congress have interrupted the president's speech, and
members are
Republican
engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Looks like Democratic Congressman Al Green was disrupting, shouting, "You don't have a mandate." And then House Speaker Mike Johnson was trying to restore order to the room. President Trump has paused his remarks.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
For the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington.
All right, we're back. And we're not, the rabbi's probably not going to be there. He's probably got the days mixed up. I don't think I screwed it up, but, and I'm not going to, act like I'm a jerk or anything like that, which I can be, I can be a little jerky, but, he's a great guy and he's been on this show for 15 years, just about. Yeah, 15, 16 years. Introduced by your mother way back when. So, but I'm pretty sure I said, if you look back at the messaging, I can tell you whether I said Thursday and that.
It said Thursday on there.
Okay.
So, yeah,
all right.
It did, yeah.
Okay. People, we all get in the habits. Let's just say Thursday. I said in a midway. Yes, I did say it. Okay. That's no big deal. The problem with him is he doesn't really have a good phone number to call.
No.
Why don't you send him a message on his page in Facebook?
I can do that.
Yeah, why don't you do that and see if maybe that'll catch his eye. I mean, I got like 45 minutes there. And by the way, JJ was talking about, these groups that they're politically left. Well, NPR is who I got the Trump speech from. All right. That was a Trump speech from and they got it. And I figured, okay, what the hell? It seemed like they were doing a good job. So, things like that can be, and I'm wearing a Trump hat, as you can see. So, which, by the way, I think the lighting is bad for me to be wearing glasses and a hat and all this black stuff on. So I'm going to take this off. We'll do a little strip tease for you. Hold on. Is there any music out there for that? Nobody's here right now. They've all abandoned me. So I'm going to take off my headset real quick and do one of these jobs. Oh my God. I hope there were no children watching that. That would have been horrible. That would have been just horrible. And they have all abandoned me now. And so I don't know what to do. So did you call him?
Yep.
And?
He didn't catch Thursday, so he's going to jump on here in a second.
Okay,
so
jump on. That's a big jump from Israel.
Yep.
Tell you what, that's good. All right, well, so the rabbi will be on. Andrea Shrum, good morning. I had forgotten you were on today. Glad I found you. I'm glad you found me too. I like to be found, and apparently somebody else has found me too. So let me read his intro. And I'm not mad or anything. He just made a little mistake. Maybe I'll stay a few minutes longer because it's not the Sabbath, is it? Wartime rabbi takes dollars from you that you send him, and uses it to house IDF widows and their children. He is the second most powerful in Israel, and in his own home, according to his wife Yonit. Please welcome all the way from Israel, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. So, What happened?
Well, what's with the Thursday?
Well, what difference does it make? I sent it with a big, huge, all capped letter to you Thursday. That's what you signed on to.
I just gave you a big thumbs up. I don't even look. I just figure.
Well, today you're giving me the fingers. What you're doing?
Yeah, give you two fingers.
Those aren't fingers. They're thumbs. Are they officially fingers, or they're thumbs?
Most say no, that they're thumbs.
And some thumbs, your right thumb is what you get anointed with blood, isn't it? Your right thumb, your right earlobe.
Is that right? Yeah.
And your right big toe.
That's right.
So you want to use God's tool. He uses to anoint people. Someday you might get anointed. Just think about it.
Yeah.
Trump's anointed by a bullet.
Yeah. I could be chief rabbi of Rolla, Missouri.
You can be chief of the world. That's what Trump is, I believe, and that's what he believes now. Yeah. He's like the king of the world almost. All right. Speaking of that, he tells Hamas to release the hostages now, or Israel will destroy you. Now, does that sound a little bit like he's representing more than just the United States to you?
Yeah, the honest truth is that it's starting to, people aren't trusting, certainly not Netanyahu, who keeps saying the same thing. We're going to open the gates of hell, but we're still waiting for it to open, and Netanyahu keeps saying it over and over and over. And whenever they report it in the newspaper, if you look at the comments on the bottom on the online, it always says, yeah, right. We don't believe you anymore.
Well, not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of them are in that state that I see. I look at the Post.
Right. But I'm saying, how many times can you say the same thing? Netanyahu's been saying it for a long time.
Well, he's been saying since 2005, basically.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying, since Trump got in office, Netanyahu once a week, he tells them, I'm warning you, that's it, last chance, let him out, last chance,
they've got the wrong mindset. They got to return those. They have the wrong mindset. If they're not going to return those hostages, dead or alive, and what they've done to these hostages is more than just. I mean, they strangled little kids, little babies. They strangled them with their hands. Okay, these are evil.
They did.
They do not deserve to live, especially if they're the one that instigated the war.
Right. But if we just keep talking big and not actually do something,
it gets more and more dangerous every day.
Yeah. So I'm hoping something happens. Maybe they're waiting for the shipment of arms to arrive. I don't know what they're waiting for, but I'm ready to open the gates of hell.
Where's Ron Dermer? What's he doing?
He's the chief negotiator now.
No.
Yeah.
Ron Dermer, the ex-ambassador to the United States from Israel, on my show in 2015.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. And
father was mayor of Miami.
Former mayor of Miami. Father or him?
His father was.
Father, and his brother, I think, was too.
Oh, really? That I don't know. I don't know that, but yeah. He played high school football in Miami, just like you did.
High school football. Do you know how big that guy is? I never mentioned that to him, by the way. He reminds me of some of the guys I went up against, though. I swear to God.
Yeah. I think he was a quarterback.
He told me he was that. I still didn't tell him. I don't know if I mentioned I did not mention it to him. I didn't want it to go there because all the time that I had to talk to him was being restricted by his people. And it wasn't like he was in knowledge of it until he turned around and said, hey, get off of this guy, all right? I want to stay and talk to him for a while. It ended up to be a 30-minute or so. And it was really good. I really appreciate that. And, of course, you've never gotten him back either. But
there's the dig.
Second most important man in Israel. And maybe third because of Ron Dermer. Because Ron Dermer has been by Bibi's side since the start, just about since the early 2000s. Isn't that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been, he's been in and out of different roles in the government with Bibi for many, many years.
Yeah. It's incredible. All right,
Yeah.
let's go back to the USA is going to discipline Columbia students who both in what they did last year and Barnard students for this anti-Semitic attacks on Jewish students, locking them out, saying river to the sea, which means kill all the Jews between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean. And they're still doing it. And I think Trump is going to send some of these people back to their home country, wherever that is.
Yeah. It's good to see someone speaking with moral authority, moral clarity that we did not have in the previous administration. You know, all the equivocations, free speech, this, that, the other thing. This is not an issue of free speech. This is hate speech. This is inflammatory speech. This is speech that could lead to serious violence, and it needs to be stopped in the most aggressive way. And the people leading these, if they are not U.S. citizens, need to be deported. Their visas need to be revoked. And this is something the previous administration did not do. And it's so refreshing. I'm a dual citizen. I'm an American citizen. As an American, it's so refreshing to hear the president speak with such clarity. And we're looking forward to him following through on his threat. You know, he ordered his. They have a committee to investigate these universities. If they're not doing enough, they're going to lose billions of dollars of federal funds, which they should. And so that's the track they're going down. We're very excited.
Here's what Trump is doing, and I think this is a good idea to throw. And I've been throwing this idea at you for a long time.
Yeah.
When you capture a and put a American as hostage, Trump's point is, I will send people to come get you, and I'll send them anywhere. He'll send them to Mexico. He's going to do it right now. He's going to send people to Mexico because of the mainly because of the drug problem. Fentanyl, is that it?
Fentanyl.
Yeah. And he's going to send troops there if need be, and he'll put them on the ground in Mexico. My point to you is that these people who are sometimes killing Jews in other countries, they deserve a little visit. I don't care what their government says; they deserve a little visit. With the help of the United States, I'm pretty sure the United States would be jiggy with this because it would prevent wars. It would prevent all this anti-Semitism throughout the world. They kill somebody or harm them or attack a synagogue, they deserve it. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that things like that do happen. They're just not out in the public eye. But, like, for example, after the Munich massacre in the Olympics, Israel hunted down every single one of those terrorists, and they were not on our territory here in Israel. They were wherever. They were spread around the world. And Israel's policy is that we will hunt you down and we will find you. We don't care how long it takes, but you better listen to every crinkling of the leaves behind you, and every door that slams could be us coming.
They should be under the terror that they have subjected Jews to all over the world. All right. So wherever you're at, in Australia, if you're in United States, if you're in Netherlands, you're in Russia. If you're somewhere where you're hurting Jews, you deserve to be dealt with.
Yeah.
All right.
I couldn't agree more.
Now let's talk about a little bit of well, it's more than a little bit. The head of Shin Bet Security blamed the Netanyahu policy on Temple Mount, Palestinian prisoners treatment, judicial overhaul as significant motivators for Hamas to invade. What the hell is that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what it is. It comes from when the country is disunified, and the truth is, I would say it had to do with the judicial overhaul, but it had to do with the protests from the left trying to tear down our government that caused our enemies to see weakness. And when you had protests of the left wing in Tel Aviv, really protesting Netanyahu, but hiding it under the guise of everything else in this Netanyahu derangement syndrome, a close relative of Trump derangement system. And this disunity is what led the terrorists to say this is an opportune time. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Israel looked extremely divided, and those cracks, they saw it as an opportunity.
Tricia Odin Maxwell, good to see you, Rabbi.
Good to see you too.
Now, this guy's name, who's in charge of Shin Bet, which is that is an agency for what, protecting?
It's like it's like our
CIA,
our, FBI. The Shin Bet operates on here, and the Mossad is overseas.
Ronan Barr, and it sounds to me like he's using this as an excuse for not contacting leadership about the invasion that he obviously knew about.
Right. So, first of all, it looks like he's going to be gone pretty soon.
Gone. He ought to be set up to be you ought to be indicted.
Yeah.
My God, if he knew there was an attack on Israel on 10/7, and he's justifying it, and he's justifying the attack, and then you find out that this guy didn't tell the Bibi Netanyahu about what was happening at the border.
Right. Yeah, he should be in jail. There's a lot. There's been a lot of talk since the beginning that the left in this country who wanted to tear down the government saw this as a way of finally getting Netanyahu out, and they let it go. And they I don't know if these are going to, they're still under investigations and so on, but it could be they didn't realize the extent, but they just thought it would be, a terrorist attack, and then Netanyahu would be out, but not realizing the extent.
7 hours before someone showed up. 7 hours.
Some places they didn't show up at all. The terrorists came and left, and did whatever they did, and they didn't show up.
No, that doesn't blame Israel. It blames some of the people who were supposed to be watching.
Yeah, the Southern Command.
He had the job of guarding Israel with information.
Yeah. So, the Southern Command, the guy named Finkelman, he's gone. Our defense minister, he's gone.
What is the Jericho walls plan for Israel's destruction? What's that? Do you know?
The
Jericho walls plan for Israel's destruction.
I think that was the plan to literally, in the same way in Jericho, they surrounded it and then just everyone attacked together. I think that was the idea.
Now, it says here also that IDF kills head of Hamas in Jenin.
In Jenin, yeah.
Jenin.
Okay. Israel's concerned about... What's that?
They're still active, and quite frankly, they're going to be back to war here very soon, I think.
Look,
what's Hamas going to do? Are they smart enough to know that Israel's actually going to do something, or do they not believe what they hear?
Look, you mentioned Jenin. Let me just comment on that, because there's the fronts everyone's aware of is Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, but there's another front, and that is Judea and Samaria, or what the world calls the West Bank. And Israel's very concerned that doesn't become, another flashpoint. And so Israel, the last couple of weeks, has been operating very strongly throughout Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, and where Jenin is found, and even bringing in tanks and trying very hard to uproot and to eliminate as much of the terrorist leadership as possible, so we don't end up in a situation like Lebanon or like Gaza. So there's a lot of preemptive things going on. What you just mentioned, taking out a Hamas leader in Jenin.
Yeah. Also Nasrallah, I think he was Lebanese. I think that was Hezbollah.
Hezbollah, yes.
Yeah, according to his son, he was deeply disturbed by the beeper attacks. Deeply
Yeah.
disturbed.
It was demoralizing, and
Yeah, that was the whole idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and
And
that
without killing hardly any of the innocent bystanders, if you can call them that.
I'd not say if there is such a thing,
If
but
there is such a thing, yeah. So
that will go down in history as one of the greatest military successes, or whatever you want to call it. Really incredible.
Absolutely. Hollywood applauds Palestinians. What BS? Hollywood. Most of them Jews.
Let's send them all, Let's empty out Gaza, send them all to LA. Send them to all.
No,
they should each take in a family, and we'll send them to their mansion.
Someday we'll take over California even. Bring it back into the Union.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what, Trump is saying things like, what really got me going was getting shot in the ear and the way that thing turned out, and that I think that was an anointment by God. That is in the Bible, correct? When Moses anointed Aaron.
Yep.
It's in Leviticus. I'm quoting Bible stuff to you, of all things. That's just wrong. So he's saying, he says that really changed me. I feel like I've been assigned by God to do this and to do it as well as I can.
He met with a group of hostages that had been freed.
Yeah.
And they said to him, you were, destined, by God. And,
yeah. And I think he believes that. Yes, they came to the White House recently.
Yeah.
8 of them.
All right, Dave, I got to get going. I got to
Sabbath already? You're having
I got to catch a bus.
You're late and you got to get going?
I really got to go. I got a bus in 4 minutes. I got to make it to Jerusalem.
Well, you put me off. You can put him off. 15 years we've been doing this. What the hell is with that? Okay, so other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find and contribute you?
They can go to our website, IsraelAlliance.org, or Facebook.com/Israel Alliance. And we'd love to hear from you.
And now that you have time for that, I'll give you something else. We trained our colleague to sell Rolexes. Yeah, he was our watchdog. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, go away. Just run away. Run away. All right. Shabbat shalom.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, man, they're all in a hurry. Oh, my God. He's late. He was late 15 minutes, for God's sakes. Oh, listen, I got to go now. I got to run, Dave. I still had a bunch of questions to ask him, but okay, that's fine. Coming up, we have Chris Adamo, and I don't have a full house today, and I did that purposely. And that the last interview I'm going to do today, I was given help to write the questions. It's going to be a lot about Elon Musk and his space ventures, and a guy who ties into that perfectly is Richard C. Lockwood. And if you've heard him on the show, this guy knows a lot about aliens, space aliens, and also the fact that his great grandfather wrote the books about Baron Trump. I mean, this is in the 1890s. He wrote these books. Baron Trump and his dog Bulger, yeah, which stood for Battle of the Bulge. All right, saying that Patton was a time traveler, and I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure the guy's name was Nikola Tesla. Gee, does that ring a bell somewhere? Tesla? Okay, here's a guy that might have invented it. He's the guy that is referred to, we think, or maybe it was John. It was John Trump, who was a professor at MIT, who also looked into Tesla stuff, and they think that in the film, what is it now? The film about time.
Oh, Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, where they have a sign that says 9/11, not a sign, but a 9, and then 2 of these strips that they were running the car over, like tire marks, saying 9/11, predicting 9/11, which happened 2001. Okay. And they're thinking that Trump had something to do with that. Well, the guy is named Doc in the name of John Trump. That's what he's saying, and he's going to be. That's going to be a great interview. I'll tell you what. Let's do more commercials because we got to kind of make up for last week because we missed it, and we'll come back with a lot of good stuff, and then Chris, Adamo, and our Richard C. Lockwood. Hit it.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect
your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we've got all the perks of a national bank, like online banking, quick loan approval, and you can deposit your check from your phone. But that's not why our customers love us. They love us because we still offer hometown customer service. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly team remind you how special hometown banking can be. We're locally owned and will take the time to understand your needs. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Did you ever try to tell somebody they have a little bit of dirt on their face? You can never get them to rub the right spot, can you? Say, you got a little bit of dirt right here. They always go, where, here? And you just want to slap the bastard.
He was called in by his editor and told of a fire that was raging in Palos Verdes. That's a hilly area in the southern part of Los Angeles County. And the photographer's assignment was to rush down to a small local airport, board a waiting plane, go out and get some pictures of the fire and be back in time for the afternoon edition. Well, he raced down the freeway, broke all the traffic laws, got to the airport, drove his car to the end of the runway, and sure enough, there was a plane revving up its engines, ready to go. He jumped in the plane shouting, "Let's go," and they were off. At about 5,000 feet, he began getting his camera out of the bag, told the fellow flying the plane to get him over the fire so he could get his pictures and get back to the paper. And from the other side of the cockpit, there was a deafening silence. And then he heard those words he will always remember. "Aren't you the instructor?"
That's pretty funny. And the thing I'm talking about is my wife made me a wonderful bagel and lox sandwich with a lot of poppy seeds and so good, onions and tomatoes and cream cheese and toasted bagel. And she does that Friday. Today due to Thursday. And so she said, you got something on your face there. And I says, "Where? Here?" I said, "We got to do Carlin." Isn't that right?
Yes, that's exactly
exactly
right.
what happened. Right. Thank you, honey.
Exactly.
Did I get it away? Was it here? Or was it there?
It was here.
It was there, okay, but I got rid of it, right?
Yes.
As you'd call it, schmutz. You wouldn't call it that because
You
you're
did
not
a
Jewish.
very good job.
We'd call it. You got schmutz on your face. What's the matter with you? Yeah, that always goes with it too. What's the matter with you? All right, so let's see what else is happening, and we got about a couple minutes.
What
So,
do you know from funny, you bastard?
who are you calling a bastard? I don't know who you're calling a bastard. That's just wrong. He calls everybody a bastard. Bastard. That's Eddie Murphy in Something to America. Coming to America. This is a really good movie. So Zelensky is going to. I think he's going to actually sign the deal, and these writers from the Washington Post, not the Times, the Washington Post, were just ravishing Trump, blaming him for pounding on Zelensky when that was a done deal. It was actually a done deal. He lied. He said we're going to have a celebration. He agreed to it before the meeting in the White House. And a couple stories were out saying after this that Zelensky went to some Democrats and they told him, don't sign the deal. Whatever you do, don't sign the deal. All right. For some reason, the Democrats are vested in this fight to where about $350 billion has been spent by U.S. taxpayers for this, which is not doing a good job for our economy, let me tell you. And it's something that Trump says, we got to end this. This is ridiculous. People are getting killed all over the place. And so he's got this deal, and he's going to make them pay a little bit with the mineral contract, the rare mineral contract. And he's even got Putin that he can negotiate with. And this guy is nuts. His own people were sitting there like this with, hands in their faces. Like one woman was doing this during that meeting with Trump because they knew he wasn't supposed to do that.
Nope.
He knew he wasn't supposed to do that. So, hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Joe Dalton. I'm calling from Rolla, Missouri.
Hi, Joe Dalton. How the hell are you?
So good, you wouldn't believe it.
And today is a big day.
It is the big day. The Breakfast for Life is today, and I'm excited for a lot of reasons, but we've got some big news we're going to share tonight with people and surprise them a little bit.
Good.
But it's just going to be a great night.
You mean you're not going to give me you're not going to give me a scoop for the show?
Do you want a scoop?
Of course I want a scoop. What am I here for? Why am I alive? I'm alive to have scoops.
Okay. Since you're a former and future board member, I'll go ahead and give it to you. So
don't push it. No. Go ahead.
So the last year and a half, we've been conducting a capital campaign under the radar of everybody.
Yeah.
Just a silent campaign. And this campaign was to pay off our building and to provide dramatic updates to the outside of the building. And for those listening, you don't know where the heck we're at, right? But we're in a 44,000 square foot building. It's a 3.5 acre lot, 600 parking spots. And we only take up about 11% of the building. So what this does for us is decades down the road, the money from the other renters coming in, the other tenants, will be a perpetual fundraiser for us.
Yeah.
And it's going to give us that sustainability we need to know that decades down the road, the pregnancy center is still going to be there helping people because that money will still be coming in. So
that's great.
What we're announcing, and the big news is it's a big campaign. It's $5.4 million, and we are almost completely funded. We're 93% funded.
Wow!
So
that's
great.
That's
what we're announcing because it's not just when somebody hears $5.4 million, that's unbelievable to think about. That big number. Well, unless you're doing sex changes on mice. It's acceptable, but no, $5.4 million, and we're almost there. So praise God.
Super. Well, let's see if we can go over the top tonight.
That's the scoop, and that's
right.
my goal, right? So we have.
Thank you.
I posted on your Facebook a link where everybody can watch online. So even though we're full and there's no more seats available, anybody listening can tune in. And I put the link on Facebook. It's supportmyprc.com.
It's going to be on TV. Oh my gosh! I gotta comb my hair.
Well, yeah. Your table's going to be right next to the
my
stage,
wife's
so everybody
laughing at me.
watching.
I have stubs. Okay, I could grow hair if I wanted to. That's wrong. You should apologize.
If you're watching online, just to the left of the stage, you'll see a glow, and that's Dave's head. So,
oh God, tell him how I was treated one time.
Yeah, so the gentleman doing the closing prayer, the benediction, got up there, and he was just blown away that there were 65 different churches represented there.
Yeah,
and then he looked at you and said, "Even the Jews are here."
He was shocked,
singling you out. You
know? I mean, I'm looking around like, are you talking to me? He's got 600 other people in the room, and he's kind of looking at me too. And I'm saying, was that for me? Oh, gee. Yeah, even the Jews showed up. That's funny.
You're not the only
it
one.
was
There's
funny.
a couple more, by the way. I think they're Messianic Jews.
Yeah, I've seen them before. I've seen them at Pastor Pat's church.
Yep.
Just talked to the rabbi, by the way. He calls me. He's 15 minutes late. Okay, 15 minutes late, and suddenly, 15 minutes into the interview, I got a lot of stuff to ask him. He said, "Oh, I gotta go, Dave." I said, "What do you mean you gotta go?" And he said, "Well, I gotta be somewhere." I says, "Really?" I says, "Okay. Other than the Dave Weinbaum show, where can people find you?" And he gives me a big speech about his charity and all that. And I says, "You know what? I just realized that you had enough time to spiel your stuff, so I made him listen to a joke."
Yep. I was listening. It was great.
Yeah, it was all right. Okay, well, I got about 2 minutes until my next interview. Who's going to be there by? I don't know if he's going to be there or not. Did you get anything out of Chris Adamo? Did that ring a bell? You there?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were. No, yeah, I know Chris Adamo. Yeah, I watch your show all the time, man.
I know. I invited him. I guess he didn't sign up though.
Oh, for coming?
Yeah,
no, he's not coming.
All right.
No.
Okay.
So at
all right.
Your table, we just have Bill Hardwick. We have JJ and Jean. We have Shannon Hux, Megan Johnson, Patricia Maxwell, and you and Lisa.
You got room for my wife?
She's there, yeah. She's there.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for checking.
All right. All right.
I love you guys. See you tonight.
Yeah, we love you too.
Bye.
See you tonight. Bye. All right. Okay. So anyway, let me get into other stuff. We got about a minute
So you
before
want me
he
to sit by
shows
you
up.
this year?
Sure, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll be different
Do
than
you
last
mind?
year.
Well, okay. Well, I did what I had to do. Well, we don't have any time now. Thank you very much. Then we got, because our next guest is on, and I got to introduce him. They have written his introduction. Yes, I have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today a pizza aficionado from Wyoming. Now,
From Missouri.
Huh?
From Missouri.
No. Just you let me do the intro, and then you can correct me after the intro.
You only say Wyoming because you're going to give me some cheap shot about Liz Cheney. I can hear it coming.
I don't have Liz Cheney written down in here at all. No, I can put it in there now, though. I'll tell you what. So I was going to, as I was saying now, and I do have this written down, pizza aficionado, when he was living in Wyoming, now found in Missouri. There, you see that? Right there. Now found in Missouri. Okay.
I'll accept correction.
They found you in Missouri, and you've been out on bail for a while.
Okay,
Tracking,
here it comes.
apparently tracking me. Please welcome the paisano of anti-Marxism and author of Rules for Defeating Radicals, Chris Adamo. That was a perfect introduction, and you ruined it.
And I interrupted you. So I got to ask you, I'm off my game because it's Thursday now. You got to explain that. Why are we here on Thursday? I'm glad to see you, and I love seeing you a day sooner, but what's going on?
JP?
So I'm going to put this on myself. I have an engagement. I have to go out of state later today. And so I talked to Dave about it, and I said, we got a couple options. Either train somebody else to do the show for this one time, or, we can try to do a previous recording and air that and just not have a live show, or not sure what to do. And we decided, well, this time we'll just do it on Thursday instead, so we can still do a live show. And I'm flying out right after. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Well, have a great trip, and we definitely you do a great job. So I can understand Dave wanting to redo things. I was actually kind of hoping he was going to go to 2 days a week, and we're just expanding here. But
well, there's some talk. This is a little bit of a tease, but there's been some talk about some radio stations.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I'm not privy to talk about it yet.
Well, tell me as soon as you can. That would be wonderful. So,
well, as soon as I figure it out,
so we can kind of segue.
Someone contacted me about it. So
good.
So we're at first we didn't agree, and now all of a sudden she's come back and said, "I listened to your show. It's really a great show."
Especially when that Adamo guy's on there. I mean, yeah.
She didn't know who the hell you were. I said, "I got Chris Adamo." She said, "Who?" I said, "Jeff Zink." "Oh yeah, I know him."
Yeah. Well, I can understand that. Jeff's a national treasure. So
yeah. I got a call from a guy last night, Joe Alexander, who used to be on the show. He used to run all of Trump's meetings, his rallies, back when Trump was first president, and I called him about a year ago to come on, and son of a gun never called me back. All of a sudden, last night he calls me back, and he's working for the Trump administration in energy,
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. We had a nice talk, and maybe I'll get him back. But he's been with Trump for a lot of years now, 10 years just about. Okay, so let me ask you this. You seem to be implying somewhere that there is now a rhino governor in Wyoming, and he's eradicated your MAGA-leaning Wyoming?
He's an absolute rhino. Mark Gordon, he's a former Democrat. By the way, I'm getting an echo here. Oh, no, okay, it's gone. Anyway, Mark Gordon, former Democrat. This has happened a lot in the past over the years where a Democrat moves to Wyoming. They've got a lot of money. They move to Wyoming. They declare themselves to be a Republican. They get elected, and then they govern like a Democrat. And that's what Mark Gordon has been doing. Now, our state legislature, Wyoming state legislature, my heart is still back there in many ways. The state legislature has been kicking butts on the rhinos, and they're doing a great job. But a lot of stuff that they do, they come up with good things that get to the governor's desk and get shut down. And so this is, at this point, he's not going to run for re-election in 26. But the thing that we got to do from this is make it an important lesson of two things: is never elect another rhino for governor. People of Wyoming, if you're listening, pay attention. When they come from out of state and they've been a Democrat, they're going to come in and try and govern as a Democrat. So that's number one. Number two, we have enough Republicans in the state legislature in both houses that if they're real Republicans, they can override every governor's veto. The legislator is so lopsided Republican. It's amazing. It's like your state house, you have like 41 Republicans and 5 Democrats. And the Senate is, the numbers are, I'm ballparking, but it's like 20 Republican senators and 3 Democrats. They have enough Republicans to override any governor's veto if they're real Republicans. Yeah. Well, there's a lot that aren't. And so the number two thing that we need to do is You go for the override. In every case where the governor vetoes, you go for the override, and then you take names of every so-called Republican that didn't help you override the veto, and those people need to be out in the very next election.
But did you not know that this guy was going to turn on you?
The thing that happened in Wyoming, and it's an excellent question, and I know we've discussed it before, and I like to reiterate this because it's a lesson not just for Wyoming, but for the whole country. Is the thing that happened there is that there's two hot button issues in Wyoming that will get you defeated if they get tagged onto you, and that's if you mess with the Second Amendment or if you talk about a state income tax. So you can be a Vermont Democrat, move to Wyoming, claim you're a Republican, and take those two issues off the table. Yeah, I'm all for the Second Amendment, and I'll never support a state income tax. And the average Wyomingite for decades would simply say, hey, we're safe here. I don't like politics. I want to go hunting. And that would be it. So they'd forget about it. And the rhinos totally infested the Wyoming legislature. I was involved in trying to get the rhinos, to get a conservative platform for the Wyoming Republican Party. It was 2004 before we could get a pro-life plank in the Republican platform in Wyoming that was anywhere to the right of Bill Clinton. 2004, because the average person, it's like if they're out there, I'm going hunting. I don't worry about those things. I'm not getting an abortion. I don't worry about that. And so they would ignore it. And so these Wyoming Republicans in the party apparatus would govern like a bunch of Vermont Democrats. We started changing that. We saw some really great heroes get in, first of all, to the party organization itself. Frank Ethorn, the chairman, he's a strong conservative. He fought the rhinos, got the Republican Party apparatus straightened up, but they still had the Republican rhinos in the legislature, in the Senate, and obviously in the governor's chair. And so now it's a matter of getting rid of them. Well,
you sound like a lot of middle of the United States people who they don't want to get involved in politics.
Right. We want to live our lives.
They let it go.
Yeah.
And the thing that Trump said is vote early, vote now, and let us know if you think there's cheating. And he did it good this time. He finally did it good. He probably had another 2 or 3 million votes than he actually got because there was some cheating being done.
Well, we saw the difference in the Democrat vote from 2020 when it was supposedly legit, and Biden gets all these votes. And then in 2024, after all the fighting that they did, because now they're really going to rally the base, and they got like 20 million less because a lot of the cheating was stopped. Not all of it, but a lot.
Yeah, amazing. So also, you put something in your Facebook, the Biden family, claiming that people are saying that they weren't murdered. They deserved it.
What's this now?
I thought this was in your Facebook. Maybe I got the wrong one.
Which family was not murdered?
This is the Israeli family.
Two
children murdered, and they actually substituted the mother with a Gaza woman who was dead by some other causes.
And I'm not sure the specifics. I've posted a lot this week, but one of the things that's happened in our country again, it's really, really ugly. And I'd really like to deal with this theme a lot this week. It's really, really ugly. It's much worse than we ever thought, but we need to see it. Okay. The anti-Semitism in this country is hideous. How did it get that way? It came from the political left. It came from the people that claim to be the compassionate and sympathetic, empathetic ones. Okay. And unfortunately, and this is just a statistical fact, unfortunately, for the last several decades, a lot of American leftists have been Jewish. And we can discuss the monumental irony of that. I don't understand that. But once it came to, you got to take, what's that?
It's self-hatred, these people have.
I don't think it's self-hatred. I think
they
it's naivety.
Look good. They want to look good. They don't.
Well, there is that, and the left always uses that, the idea that I want to be, I want to be able to grandstand with my virtue.
That's a part of self-hatred right there. I don't want to be what they think I am.
Right. Right.
know.
Okay. But the problem is that these anti-American forces,
Yeah.
they're anti-Christian, they're pro-Islam, and they're going to be anti-Semitic by definition. Okay. It's just a historical fact. Even though a lot of these duped Jewish people have fallen into it and become like this, and then they're suddenly wondering why they're a target too. Well, understand this: the left, remember my statement out of my book, the left never cares about any person or any cause they claim to champion. It's all about acquiring power, and they will turn on you on a dime the moment you become a liability to them. So
did you watch the Trump speech?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so what was your take on it?
Well, oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin. I got so much here to deal with on that. The take on that was when Trump ran his first term, he knew that the people needed big changes in Washington, but he was going to try and do it by coloring inside the lines.
Right.
Okay. And so there was a lot of things that he tried to do, and they thwarted him, and he tried to play nice, and he brought in the Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus because he's trying to build ties with the GOP establishment, which is a bunch of rhinos. And he's trying to work with these people, and they're stabbing him in the back.
Yeah.
Okay. This time now, I believe a lot of things changed when they stole the election, and he saw these people that weren't standing with him. And then things absolutely changed for him on July 13th when that bullet hit him in the ear. And if his head had been turned, that bullet would have gone into his brain and killed him. And he knew at that point, and he mentioned it in his speech, is I'm only alive here for one reason. God has me here for a purpose. Okay. And once you've been shot at and realize God protected you from that, you're not worried about these nattering ankle biters like Chuck Schumer and people like, you're not worried about any of these people. He's going for it this time. And that's what we heard in the speech. We're going to make these changes. We're going to get the guilty. We're going to stop the corruption. Now, there's a lot of people right now, and I have to admit, I've been one of them that, I was hoping we'd see more people being marched off in orange suits by now. But here's the thing. Imagine you're in your basement and you notice a couple of termites, and you go, you know what? I got some termites here. I better call the exterminator. He'll come out and spray them, and it'll be all over. Okay, that's what we want. We want to see these termites get marched off in their orange suits. But the exterminator comes out and he starts looking, and he suddenly realizes your whole entire foundation, your whole entire understructure of your house is totally infested and rotting away. Okay, we can't just get the termites and walk away. We've got to do a whole rebuilding. And I believe that's what's going on.
I believe that too. And
Epstein's Island and everything where we thought we'd see names by now. And what we saw
it's
was
not going to happen that quick.
Dennehy, right. It's not going to happen quick. Dennehy out of New York there, and he got fired for obstructing, but he's only a symptom because that obstruction, he didn't do it by himself. That obstruction is systemic. That obstruction is the whole entire New York, the southern district of New York
talking
FBI
about
office.
what they did with the Epstein files?
Yeah.
All right.
And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get all the termites rooted out before we can actually deal with that. Okay, who's who on Epstein's Island? Because they're a symptom. Epstein's Island and the obstructed files, that's a symptom. The problem that caused the obstruction is so much more vast and actually so much more dangerous.
Sure. And you know what? I agree with you. In fact, that's my monologue was on exactly that point, that Trump was shot in his right ear, which, by the way, you as a Catholic, who is not...
I'm not a Catholic. This is twice you've told me I'm a Catholic. I'm not a Catholic.
What's the matter with you? You're Italian.
Listen to this.
What about the Romans?
Okay, you know what? You know what, Dave? You're a cheapskate because you're Jewish. Okay, I mean,
how did he know that?
I mean, you talk about cheap stereotypes. My last name ends in a vowel, so I must be a Catholic.
Do you know the difference between a Jew and a canoe?
No.
Canoe tips.
Okay.
I should be insulted, shouldn't I?
Did you catch the fact I laughed about that?
Okay. Catholic, yes, I did. That's amazing.
No, I am a born again Christian.
Okay.
I go to a Calvary chapel at the moment. And if you ever come to St. Joseph, I'll take you there. Josh Blevins is the pastor,
Okay.
fantastic Christian man. So,
Is it safe?
Is the church safe? Yeah.
One time when I was like in my early 20s, when I was in the insurance business in Denver, Colorado, an agent died, an older gentleman, and I went to the funeral, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, this is pretty cool." This is in Denver, Colorado, and it was a Catholic. So I went in there, and I'm looking down at the floor, and there's some things that you could put your feet up on. I thought. I said, "Hey, this is kind of cool," So I'm resting back, putting my feet up, and people are looking at me like I'm nuts, and I'm saying, "What the hell's wrong with these people? Why are they? Do they know that I'm a Jew?" And then that came to the part where you had to kneel. I said, "Oh!"
And there's footprints down there. Yeah, okay.
My problem, me wrong, you right. So
I actually lived in Denver at the same time. We'll have to talk about this at some point.
1971, I think.
Oh, okay, a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
I guess you're a little bit older than that than I thought. You just look young. So
That was so kind. I forgive you.
I got a math problem for you.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, and there's a lot behind this. Okay,
you got a meth problem? Is that what you're saying?
A math problem. Now, don't start. You've already been slandering me with the Liz Cheney thing, and now you're going to say
my son was like on a PhD level when he went to college. Yeah, he majored in meth.
Shame on you. Okay, so here's the math problem, and I want everybody listening to think about this because there's so much in this. Okay, so our national debt is about 35 trillion, let's just say, because it's ballpark. Okay, now let's just say that I was able to get in there and skim off 1/1000th of 1% to give it to Dave Weinbaum. Okay,
that's a lot of money, buddy.
1/1000th of 1%. What ballpark? We'd say, well, how much is that?
Probably about I don't know, probably about 5 trillion, something like that.
Okay, this is 35 trillion. 1/1000th of 1% is $350 million.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So if I skimmed off 1/1000th of 1% to give to you, I'm giving you. So what we have is this pot of money that is so vast.
Yeah,
that it's like we hear these things, and like you just did, it's like you're trying to scramble the numbers, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The point
I never
is
to be a genius, like you.
No, you're a genius in your own way, but okay.
Like you.
But I will remember you obviously didn't study math in college, so we'll leave that question.
I was an accounting major.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the point being that of that 35 trillion, what we're finding out is that not millions, but tens and hundreds of billions have been skimmed off for every leftist cause on the face of the earth. All the screaming that you're hearing, all the wailing about how awful Elon Musk is. It's like these people have been robbing your paycheck for decades with their income taxes. And the Democrats are screaming at Elon Musk because he's pointing out that you've been robbed. Okay?
And by the way, Elon, this is my next question for you. Number 3, Elon is scared he's going to be murdered because he knows about the corruption.
Well, exactly. And who blames him for that? The vastness of this evil, back to our talk about the termites in the basement, the vastness of this evil is so much greater than we ever
Republican or 2 or 3 that are involved as well.
Let's go back to the Wyoming legislature. What would you, the single biggest expenditure of every state legislature in the country invariably is education. Education, you know why it's education? Because if you say you're spending money on the children, everybody goes for it. Everybody is for the children. And so you try and cut the education budget and people, oh my gosh, you hate children. You want these children. We have right now in our country, we have high school graduates. We have a 33% literacy rate, 33%. That means only 1 out of 3 kids is actually functionally literate when they get out of high school. How many trillions have we spent on education? And these kids are dysfunctional. And you know what the fix is? Ask any Democrat out there. The fix is, well, we got to spend more money.
Yeah.
We got to pay teachers more. Okay.
You know what
we got to
happened
build
today?
new schools.
Do you know what happened just today?
What's that?
Well, it either has happened or it hasn't, but it's going to happen. And that is Trump is shutting down the federal
The Department of Education.
Department of Education.
Okay. Now, since
it's going to go back to the states.
Since the Department of Education has been functioning in Washington, how much money has gone into it to send them to reroute that money back to the states, to all the pockets, right? And what has happened to American test scores? I saw one where among all the industrialized nations of the world, we're first in spending, we're last in academics.
40th out of those measured. Last.
Yeah. But we're way up at the top when it comes to spending.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And if you and I try to cut that spending, or if we try to say maybe there's no correlation between the money spent and the quality of education, maybe we need this really dirty word called accountability, and this even dirtier word called competition. Maybe if we have those two things, like with vouchers and like with educational savings accounts, maybe all of a sudden we start seeing an improvement on those test scores. Things like, well, you can't do that. You hate the children. And like you said,
what's your take on Zelensky?
Zelensky?
Is he covering up? Is he covering up from all the American cash he stole under?
Yeah,
Biden?
You remember my math problem we just did?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yep, and we can start working those numbers too. Again, $350 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say that he got 1/10 of 1% of that $350 billion. Okay, that's $350 million. So if he's getting and he wants more,
1%,
1/10 of 1%. Yeah, that's stunning, isn't that? One 1/1000th of
it would be.
Oh boy, you're going to fail accounting class. I already did the math here.
That'd be $33 million.
What $350 billion?
35 million.
No, 350 million. Do the math.
500 million? No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay, we're betting a pizza on this, Dave.
Whatever. You owe me a pizza.
Okay, listen to me. And I hope it because
you never paid.
This is you come out here, I'll get you pizza. But
I invited you to go to the banquet tonight for the life deal.
This is a good object lesson, Dave. No offense, but this is what they do to us, and believe me, it's happened to me too. The only reason I'm onto this one is because I've already figured this out, and I already sat down and did the math. You take $350 billion.
Yeah,
you take 1,000th of that. 1,000th of 350 billion is 350 million. Okay.
No.
Yeah, because 10% of it would be 3.5 billion. So yeah, that's incredible.
10% of 300.
No, I said 1/10.
33,500,500.
No. Okay. Pay attention, everybody.
Somewhere.
Don't let Dave make your change for you at McDonald's because something really fishy is going to happen.
They don't let me in. They don't let me in.
So yeah,
I work the drive-through, buddy.
It's a billion.
I do it in a trash. In a trashy situation like well, I don't want to call that trashy. I don't wear a trash bag, but I do wear a street guy's yellow and reflective thing on the highway thing. I do that, and I've been doing that for 15 years. They stole it from me.
Here's the thing: $1 million is 1/1000th of $1 billion. It's 1/10 of 1% of $1 billion. $1 million. 1,000 million is $1 billion. Okay, so $350 billion, 1/10 of 1% of that is 1/1000th of that. $350 billion, 1/1000th of that is 350 million.
What is that now?
So I took what Chris did, and I took 350 billion divided by 1,000 because that's the short form of doing it, and that's 350 million. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
if that's all.
All right.
If that's all he skimmed, was 1/10 of 1%.
Yeah.
He'd have he'd have $350 million. Okay, who wouldn't want that? So, from the Zelensky's perspective,
1/10 of 1%.
Yeah,
that's 1,000th. Yep.
350 billion. Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me because 10% of 500 million is what?
5 million.
But this is 350 billion.
Okay,
or 50 million. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I know. And again, Dave, no problem with this, because the truth is, this is what they do. We're dealing with these ridiculous astronomical
which
sums of
nobody's
money.
used to doing.
And
That's
this is how they do it.
And we've ignored it all these years.
Right.
Yes. And you know what? The best thing you ever did was get Elon Musk out of there.
Get him in there. Absolutely. By the way, at this point, I'm afraid you've just disqualified yourself for a job at SpaceX. No offense, but
No. I'm getting. You know who I'm good friends with now?
Who's that?
Grok 3.
Oh gosh.
He's supposed to be listening to this show, and maybe, just maybe, and maybe with my next guest, not you, my next guest, who is Richard C. Lockwood, it's possible that Elon will be on the phone.
Well, if that's the case, you got one thing you need to do, is you need to tell Elon Musk about my book, Rules for Defeating Radicals, because this is how we get the word out. One of the things that we're doing as Americans now, and I have a whole bunch more stuff we could talk about, but obviously we can't get to all of it. But one of the things that needs to happen, and that the difference in Trump between his first term and this term, is that he's fighting to win. He's not fighting to get along. And this is the thrust of my book, is that we don't play by the rules that they dictate to us. We play by our rules.
I agree. And even did you see how their behavior was last night?
And that was a perfect example of
Al Green. Oh my God, he's now the leader of the Democratic Party.
Well,
Al Green.
And I just got a news alert that the House decided as of this morning to censure Mr. Al Green.
Good,
He's censured
good for
by
them.
The House.
Yeah,
So.
okay, fine.
See, I consider that.
I don't know.
Thank you for that, JP, because in the past, you know what the Republican House would have done in the past? They would have apologized to Al Green.
Probably.
And my very first rule in my rules for defeating radicals, the very first one is you never apologize unless you've done something wrong.
I mean, we're in agreement on that. I've always been a believer of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
but you gotta remember, there are some people that you want people to switch over if that's possible. But if they're not gonna do it, as Trump said, I've been up here 5 times. Nothing I can say is going to make you applaud, stand up and applaud, or anything nice.
Key point.
You're just gonna, exactly.
Now here's the second point.
Look at Robert F. Kennedy. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, they changed.
Okay, now they changed not because Trump tried to be the George Bush compassionate conservative, kinder and gentler, reach across the aisle. They changed because Trump said, here's the right thing to do, and I'm going to be absolutely dogged, determined to do it. And that's what made them change. And
they were being treated like Democrats normally treat Republicans, and they weren't going to take it. Which is the whole idea, is we don't have to take this crap.
And that's it in simple terms. The Alinsky strategy, back to my book. The Alinsky strategy only works on those who allow it. And the minute you stand up to it, they throw a tantrum. They were throwing tantrums. They already hated you. The minute you stand up to it, they throw a bigger tantrum. So what? What you saw the other night was their most desperate attempt at throwing a tantrum, and they looked pathetic to the point that even a lot of Democrat mouthpieces have been embarrassed by them.
Well, towards the end of it, you had some Democrats applauding for Trump. I mean, they were so despaired, and it was broken. They were broken last night.
He absolutely.
That happened totally like that, but that was a total breakdown of the Democratic Party right there.
Yeah, what it was an unmasking of the Democrat Party. I mean, you're absolutely right. At that point, you can see who these people really are, what they stand for. You can see how contemptuous they are.
Trump made them do that.
Yep. He put them on the spot.
He did it in a nice way. He says, why can't you guys just for once, get up and applaud something and just go along with the program. I know you're not going to do it, but
let me ask you this, Dave.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What would he have accomplished if he had been spending the last 4 years trying to reach across the aisle?
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't. It was not a reach that he would have gotten.
Exactly.
And look at what they did to him,
Yep.
or did to the American people when Nancy Pelosi was ripping up his State of the Union address, right next to who? Pence.
Yeah.
And what did Pence do? Nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Who's that? Mr. Lockwood. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess I've got my next guy coming on, so I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. Is he not going to be on or what?
He is. He's working on his equipment right now. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, all right. Let's see. How will we know? Why don't you get on the phone with him? How will we know when he's ready? So let's see what did you see these mayors of the sanctuary cities that were brought before Congress?
Yeah, and Anna Paulina Luna she's another one of those firebrands.
Oh my God, did she kick their butt?
And she is referring them to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution.
Damn right. How
and
about
again, this is what needs to happen. If we had during World War II, if we had Nazis setting up camp in American cities, we'd call that treason. Okay. Well, these mayors are essentially undermining the duly elected president of the United States in favor of foreign, often hostile and violent criminals from foreign countries. And these people are involved in they're subverting the lawful conduct of our government to protect the citizens of the United States. These people need to be prosecuted.
The mayor of Boston, Wu, she is now accused of lying to cover up a crime of an illegal. So,
and it wouldn't surprise me a bit. You know what that is at that point? It's called obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
And that's a crime. And when you look at the fact that let's just pick Roger Stone, that during the first Trump administration, the FBI shows up at his house with 25 agents with CNN cameras on hand to break down his door, handcuff him, and march him off because they claimed he obstructed justice. And when you got people like her doing things like this.
All right, my friend, I've got a guy who is going to be on next, and I appreciate you. Other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find you and buy your book?
They can find it at Amazon. It still needs to be read. We need it to get it into the state legislatures across the country. The Republicans, the real Republicans.
Chris, I don't know if this is true, but I heard you were kicked out of Normal, Illinois, and that it was for obvious reasons.
Wow.
Chris Adamo, ladies
wow.
and gentlemen. He is gobsmacked by that joke.
It pierces me.
Oh, I know it hurts you.
Have a great weekend. Keep up the good work.
See you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Okay, my next guest, he's going to close the show for me right now, and he's a writer. He's written the Ballad of Donald Trump. Do we have that somewhere? The Ballad of Donald Trump, Catholic. He's a witness and expert to space aliens and time travel. Please welcome Richard C. Lockwood. Hi, Richard. How you doing?
All right.
I was wearing the same hat for a while, but you know what? For some reason, it's very dark on my face, and I have the glasses, so I can't do it. But I do have here. Hold on. I just want you to know I have got it here.
Excellent.
And it's pretty much the same thing you got.
I also want you to know that I have this guy.
What do you got? I got him too.
Yeah,
I don't want to move him because he's in the camera. You can show him real quick.
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah, there you go. Is it? Yeah, there you go. How about that? Only mine's wearing a Trump hat. Ha ha ha. Okay. All right, let's get started because I got a long interview with you.
Well, in previous shows, Dave, I've talked about the Trump-Tesla connection.
Yeah.
How Tesla's time machine fell into the hands of Dr. John Trump.
Right.
And how the U.S. government has been doing time travel experiments ever since.
Yeah. So Elon Musk, he might see this actually, or he might be listening. Elon, if you're there, join us. 573-578-2700. Stay as long as you like, or I know you're a bit super busy kind of guy, but I talked about this with Grok 3, and think about that, please, because I'm having a blast talking to Grok 3. Anything I want to know, anything. And I can argue with this, and sometimes I can even convince Grok 3 of stuff that he didn't already agree with. It's really incredible what's going on. I'm a big AI guy now. So Elon Musk.
So's Elon.
Like I said, I worked with them on this interview. Jokingly, Musk once called himself a space alien, but he wants to be a space alien because if and when he lands on Mars, that's what he'll be, won't he? A space alien from Earth on Mars.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Let me continue what I was starting to say.
Okay.
President Donald John Trump.
Yeah.
Carries his uncle's name as his middle name, so
yeah,
they're connected.
Sure.
Of course, Donald knows all about time travel and communication with time travelers.
Why doesn't he ever say anything about it?
He doesn't want to show his hand. That's why his presidency has been so effective. He's waited for this time. So,
what do you mean he's waited for this time? Did he not run to win in 2020?
He did, but he needed those years to prepare.
I agree with that. But he didn't know that at the time?
I believe he did.
You believe he did?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me that he threw the election?
Not that he threw it, but he knew it would happen that way.
Ah. So what else does he know, do you think?
Well, Trump was told about the messages that Elon Musk received.
Who gave him those messages?
Elon received it from the government, who's in communication with the time travelers. That's why Trump decided to work closely with Elon.
Really?
Now,
So wait a minute. Elon knows all about this. Now, is he a time traveler too?
Nope, but he's got the information. That's why TTM stands for Time Travel Messengers. Okay.
Yeah.
And TTM also stands for Tesla, Trump, Musk. There's the connection. It's no coincidence.
Really? Well, who did that?
The time travelers. Remember, we're working on a program here.
Yeah.
And everything is logical.
Okay, the time travelers. And who might they be?
They're us from the future.
They're us from the future. From this planet?
No, sir. By that time, they've expanded throughout many planets in the galaxy.
And how far in the future have they gone?
We're talking thousands of years.
I mean, what's the limit on that?
Maybe tens of thousands.
Is there a limit on it? Like there's I mean, is the universe still going to be alive after how many years or whatever? What happens?
So we've got some millions to go.
We got millions of years to go.
Oh, definitely.
So it's not going to come down and kill us all like today. Thank God.
No.
Thank you, God. Okay.
Now, we all know that Elon Musk is regarded as one of the most influential innovators of the 21st century.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
He founded Tesla Motors.
Yeah, Tesla. And why was it called Tesla before did he buy it? Or did he just want that name of Nikolai? Isn't it Nikolai Tesla, right?
Well, he understood that Tesla had been contacted as well. So he took the name, full knowing that Tesla was contacted by time travelers as well. Now, he founded, Musk founded SpaceX,
Yeah.
Neuralink, and
Yeah.
the Boring Company.
Starlink and the Boring Company. That's a big deal. Because one
Now,
of the
the Boring
books
Company
that your grandfather wrote was about Baron Trump's underground adventure, which is a tunnel. Is that right?
Yes, indeed.
And when was that written?
In that book, there are tunnels through the Ural Mountains in Russia.
When was that written?
1895.
Okay, so your great-grandfather, was he a time traveler?
No.
Did he know about? He was a lawyer, right?
He was a lawyer. He was privy to that information, but he never traveled in time.
But he was also a friend of Abraham Lincoln's. Is that not true?
That is true. That is true.
Okay, so
Abraham Lincoln sent him to Germany with a letter in hand. Okay, he became the ambassador to Germany.
Who did? John?
Ingersoll Lockwood.
In Ingersoll Lockwood. Okay, he was in Germany in the 1800s.
He was sent as the ambassador to Germany by President Lincoln. And he had a letter in hand to deliver to one Mr. Frederick von Trump.
Oh, wow. Who was in... He was in Russia?
No, he was in Germany.
He was in Germany. Okay, Germany. Okay, I'm getting a little mixed up. I got people flashing
it's a
at me.
complicated story.
Andrea Shrum, ask Richard about the Tesla med beds. Do you know anything about that?
Tesla med beds?
Yeah. Well, let's go on. I guess you don't know much about that.
I don't know about that. But getting back to the Boring Company.
Yes.
In case your listeners haven't heard.
Yeah.
The company digs underground tunnels.
Yeah.
For transportation.
Sure.
And one of their projects is called the Hyperloop. Okay. If you haven't heard of that, Hyperloop is a high-speed transportation system where passengers travel in these little self-driving electric pods. They go over 600 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Underground.
I've thought about this. Why do we have that? Where you're in these single little things, and it goes underground. And
well, there's a reason.
What?
Because this project's been in preparation for human colonies on planets that don't have oxygen atmospheres like ours. So they travel underground.
Okay. So out of this came Starlink too, right?
Yeah, well, I'll get to that.
All right, all right. Okay, go ahead.
Musk's approach to business and technology isn't ordinary, okay?
Yeah.
In fact, his businesses are far more advanced than any of the other businesses on Earth. That's why he's the richest man.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that cheating? He knows a lot more because of who he is and what he's done.
I've noticed that both Musk and Nikola Tesla share a futuristic view of what's going to come. And that's because they were both privy to time travel information.
Why isn't this this subject, why isn't this out there more? Seriously. I mean, people must want to know the end of the story. Where are we going with all this? What happens in the future? What happened that was in the past that made the future?
You know, they should be curious.
I would think so.
Now, if you take a look at Elon's work with SpaceX.
Yeah.
You know, that's the aerospace company he founded.
Sure.
You'll understand what I mean. Firstly, it's the first privately funded spacecraft to reach orbit. He's got the first privately funded spacecraft.
Yeah.
And then he's got the first privately developed spacecraft to dock with the space station.
Yeah.
All
with
right?
little little chopsticks kind of things.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Never been done. Never been done. And it saves millions and millions of dollars. Yeah.
And so he's developed a giant set of grasping arms to catch a spacecraft as it lands. And he's also developed reusable rockets that dramatically cut the cost of spaceflight.
Sure.
So these advancements in themselves should raise some important questions, I would say.
Sure.
First of all, how could a privately funded company founded by a relatively unknown entrepreneur like Musk rise to the top of the space industry in a short period of time?
Well, you tell me.
So, like, Dave.
Why? How?
What happened to the decades of research and development that it should have taken to get there?
Yeah, well, what happened? What did they find out? Did they not find out anything?
Nobody asked these questions.
Well, that's what I'm doing with Grok. And that's why it's interesting, because that's owned by who? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. And sometimes Grok has poo-pooed that story about Area 51.
Remember, Grok is only programmed.
Yeah, but when I've come back and argued with it, it says you're absolutely right. I think I had Grok 1, and when I protested and saying, how can you determine what's going to happen or what has happened in a universe that is, we don't know the end of it. We don't even know the beginning of it. How I mean, you could have Earth-like planets. You could have billions of them. And how would that not be something that would have a life on it? If not maybe a recognizable life, at least a life. I think you are coming through. Would you pay attention, please? Thanks. What is that? Are you there, Richard?
I am here, but it seems like I'm breaking up.
I think somebody's screwing you.
The connection's fine, Richard. I think it's the background you're using. It's working against your camera there. I don't know if you might want to try a different background behind you, because it's.
I think we can take a 5-minute commercial break. Okay.
Yeah.
We got plenty. You're going to be till the end of the show. Let's take a commercial right here. Okay, work on it.
Okay, JP, can you hear me?
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about koi sushi and hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in 1 word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the #1 sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we are committed to providing exceptional service to our customers. We do more than just provide loans for our community. We help make dreams become reality. Whether it's a new home, farm, business, or a new car, we would love the opportunity to help. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly lending team remind you how special hometown banking can be. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're back on the show, I think, with Richard C. Lockwood. There he is. All righty. Working hard on that background. It looks good right now, so don't worry about it. As long as I can hear you, it's working, okay, as far as I'm concerned, okay? And you can look into the camera, what you're doing, so I'm fine. Let's talk about why is Elon so gobsmacked wanting to go to Mars? What does he know that we don't? Is the Earth going to explode?
Yes, he knows that we have to get there. He knows where the time travelers have come from And in order for them to be where they're at, we have to expand out into the universe. So he's instrumental in getting us off the planet.
Okay, so that means something's bad is going to happen on Earth. Is that right?
Not necessarily.
Why would we want to leave? Other than the fact that the Democrats might take over someday.
Well, that's reason enough, right there.
Okay, it's close. Yes. All right. So you're kind of vague on that.
Well, let me continue where I was at.
Go ahead.
You remember in 2016, the same year that Donald Trump announced his candidacy?
Yeah.
Musk founded a company called Neuralink.
Yeah.
And his goal was to develop an interface between the human brain and AI, and that was to treat like neurological disorders.
Right. Like broken spine.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And an interesting side fact is that Musk's been working with the Back to the Future actor, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, he's got Parkinson's disease real bad.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Advanced neurological disease himself.
Why
right?
Is he in on this too, Michael?
Well, Back to the Future. Remember we were talking about this?
Yeah. And who's Doc in the Back in the Future? Who's he really named after?
Doc is based after Dr. John Trump.
Who is Trump's uncle. All right. And he's talked about John Trump as his uncle recently. I've heard him talk about him. So,
well, and Musk has said repeatedly that humanity is going to merge with AI to create, I quote here, a superhuman being with powers that we can only dream of.
I think he's absolutely right, because we're headed that way and we're getting close to it now. It seems like if you can go on, it's the most amazing thing. And I'm investing in this stuff too. I mean, I bought a couple stocks. I think a bunch of my stocks are aligned with AI before I even knew it was AI. I'm just lucky I fell into it, and I bought a couple of more since being really aware of AI. I didn't know what the hell it was.
Well, the progress that they're making, the quick advances, should raise questions about the involvement of more advanced technologies, and nobody's asking the questions.
I'm asking it, because I'm fascinated with this stuff. It's just amazing that at this age that I'm actually looking out. Like I'm a paranoid. I'm very paranoid. I'm not totally ill or anything like that, but I am a skeptic of high concern over stuff that could happen. And what's going to happen to my kids? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my lovely bride? Where are we going with this life? What is going on? And what about the afterlife? Is there an afterlife?
Is there an afterlife?
Yeah.
I believe so.
How? Well, you know that as
I've got to veer off and talk about the simulation that we're in.
The what?
Because all the information is stored.
Yes. Okay.
But let me get back to Musk for a second.
Go ahead.
I think that Starlink might be the first step toward interstellar communication. The sheer scale of the Starlink project makes me think that Musk's motivation is that global communication and interglobal. So when we move off of the Earth, I believe Starlink is going to play a big part of that.
Well, what's going to happen after Trump's term is over? Do you know?
You know what? I'm not sure that it'll be over.
That's an interesting thought right there.
Well, look, you've got a dysfunctional Democratic Party. We don't have a two-party system anymore.
Not anymore. No, they destroyed themselves.
So
did they destroy themselves, or did we have something to do with that? Did Trump have something to do with that?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
But
well,
you know what? The American people don't want to be governed by these anti-Americans anymore.
yeah. Huh.
And so I think
Well,
we
how
have a
did that
two-party-
happen? Were they always anti-American? Was it like back in the days of Kennedy, and were they always like anti-American?
Well, there is a theory that the Civil War never ended.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, so remember the Democrats were the slavers.
Yes.
Okay, then they were the KKK.
Yes.
After the war, and they were lynching black Republicans.
Yes.
And then they were the Dixiecrats who fought civil rights legislation.
Right.
All the way up to the 1960s. They remember they had to fight for integration. You know,
Sure.
It was the Democrats that didn't want it.
Yeah. So
And
why
so-
did they suddenly discover that that if they gave money to the blacks, they could sort of put them to work for
Kennedy
them?
started to embrace the civil rights legislation that was presented by the Republican Party.
Uh-huh.
And when Kennedy was assassinated, which I believe was by the Democrats, the Dixiecrats, in conjunction with the CIA.
Yeah.
When Kennedy was assassinated, this civil rights legislation was on the desk of the Oval Office, and back then, President Johnson, Lyndon Baines, saw it, and he said during a cabinet meeting, "If I sign this, I'll have the blacks voting for me for the next 100 years."
Yeah.
And it came to pass.
Uh-huh. Oh, he's close. he
came
was
to pass.
he was close. Yeah. Now that we've talked about the assassinations, who killed Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy?
I believe it was the government as well.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing. You know, back in the days when Kennedy was assassinated, nobody believed it was by anyone other than Oswald.
Because we had a mainstream media.
Yeah, it's been lying to us forever.
Everybody believed.
Yeah. Yeah, I believed it.
Now, what's the credibility of CNN?
Nothing.
And NBC and
Nothing, and nobody's listening to them anymore. And all these people are getting
lost credibility
fired.
They lost control.
They lost control, absolutely. And you know, Fox is flourishing, Newsmax to a certain extent. They still have problems. They still have stories that they hide. I could see that, you know, and I got examples, but I don't want to go. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit more about tourism. Tourism for Mars. That's Tesla. That's Elon's ideas for Mars, and they're going to have one city of 1 million people. Well, you know, how about other cities? How about you know?
In order for Mars to actually house a lot of human beings,
Yeah,
we're going to have to terraform the planet, which means create an atmosphere that would be conducive for human beings to breathe.
Would you have to put this like in a big circle, a big dome, or something?
There are ways of creating an atmosphere.
Yeah,
but the rub is that it takes a long time, hundreds of years.
Yeah. Wow.
So in the meantime, people will have to live in an enclosed
right
cities and move underground.
You know, think of all those movies that were like the Avengers and all these movies they have out there. It's gonna be true. Okay, they're gonna have. We're gonna have space. I mean, all this stuff they predicted. You know, the flying cars way back when. You know, it's almost
cars,
it's here.
Talking about cars, Musk push the boundaries of electric vehicle technology. There's no doubt there.
Well, sure.
And the advanced nature of these technologies, such as the Tesla Roadster,
Yeah.
the Powerwall, and the solar roof, the whole bit, point to the fact that Musk is utilizing knowledge from a higher source. There's no getting around it.
Well, he had when he died, Nikolai is his name.
Nikolai,
Tesla.
yeah, Nikolai.
He had 1,200 plus patents, and the FBI grabbed 80 trunks of his notes.
Yes,
and
sir.
where the hell are they? And when will we get to see those?
Well, first of all, the Tesla Trove, they called it, was given to John Trump. And
given to Donald Trump? This Donald Trump?
John Trump.
Oh, John Trump, right. The uncle.
And they said, hey, see if you can find anything that'll aid us in the war effort. Because they were in the middle of World War II.
1943, and that's the year that Nikolai Tesla died.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so all of this material was in the hands of John Trump. 80 chests of it, you're right.
Wow. So now guys like you are walking around saying this stuff, and everybody is poo-pooing you.
Of course.
Like my wife is poo-pooing me right now. She's leaving. And now she stuck her tongue out at me. I will not take that woman. Okay. But back to this. Why? When is the government going to give us all this information? Trump is opening up. Now he is the most open person, president-wise, so far that's ever. He's given every time he's doing something. The press is there. They're in the Oval Office. He's signing stuff. And in between, he's answering questions. I mean, did you ever see anything like that?
I've never seen anything like it before.
Me neither. And
but I'll tell you something about Musk.
Yeah.
He actually stated that the probability that we're in a base reality is 1 in billions. So he knows about simulation.
What do you mean by that? I don't understand. Base?
Okay, a base reality is the original creation.
Okay. And
And
when was that now? We have the Bible story, and now what?
Okay, so Musk believes that we are generations away from the base reality. And so you listen to him talk sometime. He'll go off on this.
Elon, are you there? Would you get Elon on the line, please? All right, come on. Yeah, what kind of producer are you? You couldn't get Elon on the show? Dang. I'm going to give it to Grok. I'm going to Grok one on Grok. Anyways, I still don't quite get that. Explain it again.
Okay.
I'm a little slow.
Everything points scientifically to the fact that we are a program. Okay. So, like, we're living in a simulation.
Like that movie that had the town and it was all fake. Remember that?
Yeah, I know. I don't know that movie, but
it was in Chicago.
Like The Matrix, almost.
Yeah. All right. So, wow. So everything is kind of like a scene out of a movie, like this show or something, right? Would be. Yeah. I wonder if this is going to break the. I wanted to get Grok 3 on the show with a voice, and he was actually talking about it himself, but it was all a gag. But I think that would happen soon. You could ask
people that want to know more about the simulation theory.
Go ahead.
Go to Scientific American, and they have a whole issue devoted to it.
Okay.
And that's not a a thing that scientists are poo-pooing. They're starting to agree that we're in a simulation.
Okay. Do you have any of your relatives? You have relatives that know about stuff too, right?
Well, I had a cousin, a distant cousin to me,
Yeah.
cousin of father's, who was involved in the Roswell incident.
Yeah. And you claim that he actually saw 2 bodies. Is that correct? Of
Okay.
aliens.
His name was Lieutenant Colonel Philip Corso.
Corso. Yeah, I read about him. I read about his stuff. Yeah.
And people are saying that's all made up, but it isn't. Because I remember when I was a kid, he used to come over and tell us about this. He'd visit my dad.
Yeah.
And he'd say, Charlie, you can't believe what I saw or what I'm doing. And this is long before his book.
Well, the government doesn't want you to know this, though. And they sort of, they have admitted that about him, but they said some nasty stuff about him. Like he's kind of made it up and stuff like that. So the government's doing that, right?
They don't want that to get out.
Okay. So you've also mentioned, what else do you need to say about that? Because I wanted to ask a question about whether the aliens are friendly towards towards us. If not, they could have.
Let's go back to Roswell for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the Roswell crash, these humanoids that they found, did live for a few hours, and they communicated with people, not vocally, but telepathically.
Wow.
And so the soldiers that were attending to them could actually hear their thoughts.
In English?
In English.
Okay. Well, that has something to do with Elon's machine.
Neuralink, yeah.
Yeah, which he says can actually have them talk with different voices and stuff. And
of course.
Yeah. Wow.
And of course it can scramble things up.
So this stuff is happening. We know there's Neuralink out there. He explained it on television. I mean, everybody knows what he's doing, and they don't seem to want to remark on anything other than
no. They're not ready for it. He's got the ability right now with Neuralink.
Yeah.
To have somebody think about moving a control panel, and it would happen just by thinking.
Yeah.
And this, I'm not.
They can move it. How can they move it though? I mean, you have to have some energy there. The energy coming from your brain.
We've got electric energy coming from our brains.
Now, okay, these are not robots. They're people.
No, sir.
Do they take on other robotic missions or something like that? Do they become super strong?
Yeah,
super smart.
Like a combination of human and robot together. See, once you do that, you can take the brain and interface it with a robotic body, and
wow,
sky's the limit. And I'm going to take you past that.
Go ahead. My brain is growing right now. Just listening to this.
Biological computer.
Huh?
Okay.
What?
The brain is a biological computer.
Yes.
So someday they're going to be able to download this computer into hardware. That, my friend, will grant you immortality.
Wow. Does it leave a scar?
Yeah, it'll leave biology behind.
Are we going to lose our sense of humor? I don't want to lose my sense of humor.
So.
Huh? No?
I don't think so, but it solves the problem of overpopulation.
Wait a minute. Okay, well, are we still going to have babies?
Of course. So you'll have a two-tier system, a biological system and a downloaded system.
Yeah.
Existing at the same time. And they'll probably have a limit of how many people can exist in the biological system at one time.
Okay, so does that cause you to have a limit on the babies you can have?
I don't
Or
believe
is it,
so.
or are those kept separately?
I mean, how much information can you store on a hard drive?
I have
So they're
no
not
idea.
going to be worried about population.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. This is like, okay, this is really kind of weird, actually.
Well, that's what you have me on for. I know
you're weird. You're a weirdo.
have me
And
explore-
you're a Catholic, right?
Yeah, you have me on to explore.
Okay, you're a Catholic. Where's do you have your ash cross?
I did last night.
Oh, you washed it away. Okay, is that okay? Because look what happened to me. Look what happened to me.
In the morning.
Look what happened to me this morning. This morning I reached in to get some big
no.
bottle of mouthwash, and in trying to get it out of the cabinet, I pulled it out, and as you can see, I have two Band-Aids here. I had the one that my wife put on there, and it was still leaking blood. And so when I came in today about 7, I had somebody give me a Band-Aid, and it's actually in the form of a cross now. So I'm not converting though, but I just wanted you to see that.
You might be called.
Well, I'll be called by
heard of
Moses, maybe.
Have you ever heard of a stigmata?
Who? Stigmata?
Stigmata.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. He was a mafia guy back in the 30s, wasn't he? I mean, forget about it.
So anyway,
yeah.
In the Catholic religion,
yeah,
in the Christian religion, actually, there have been people that develop wounds in their hands and feet, just like Christ had.
Oh, no.
And this is a spontaneous thing. It happens.
Has it happened to you? Has it happened to you?
No, it hasn't.
What happens when that happens?
Well, some people revere it in the church and say that these people are blessed. I'm not so sure about it, but it actually happens where they develop wounds in their hands and feet, just like when Christ was crucified.
Yeah. All right. Have you seen anybody like that?
I've seen pictures of them.
Do they have big holes in their hands where the?
Yes.
Dang. And you can see right through their hands?
It's just big wounds. Yeah.
Big wounds. Okay, I think I'll stay Jewish. I don't know. You know, listen, we have a disadvantage over Christianity until you told me that is because, we have to be circumcised. All right. And, you can't go to an adult and say, and you can tell them all about Judaism. And then when it comes down to, well, what do you have to do to get in? Well, we have these little snippers here. I mean, how fast you going to run away from that? That's why you guys outbalance us. How stupid.
A rabbi came on and said he does the circumcision because he likes working for tips.
Yeah, he was on today.
Was he?
He was late today. Yeah, he was late. He thought it was Friday or something. I don't know. He didn't see the big words Thursday on his note. So,
oh my.
So how could you? He says, how could you do that? I says, well, because JP explained he's got to fly out on a plane today. He's got a thing he's got to go with in Dallas, and so whatever. All right, well, let's get back to you because we only got about 12 minutes.
My goodness.
Huh?
I said, my goodness.
My goodness,
time
yes.
Flown.
Well, this is amazing. Okay, so Tesla also saw electricity as a human right. He was funded by J.P. Morgan then dropped him when he refused to make money like Edison's crew.
Well, Tesla actually said,
yeah,
that using the gravity of the Earth, he could actually light up the eastern seaboard of the United States for nothing.
Yeah.
And there's the problem. There was no money to be made.
Exactly. Exactly. In fact, he died. He was destitute.
And that's the same problem that people have when they come up with cures for cancer. There's no big money to be made.
Okay, are you saying then it's intentional there that people get cancer so they can pay the pharmaceutical companies, sort of like maybe a pandemic?
I believe
like a pandemic, you think?
I believe that the pharmaceutical companies are sitting on cures.
Yeah.
And they're dragging their feet because they're making so much money on the pharmaceuticals that they're using right now that they don't want to release the cures.
Wow. Well, this is going to be interesting because my friend Jeff Zink is about to become I think the guy in charge of the whole HHS thing, just under Robert F. Kennedy. So no kidding. And we've had long discussions about the pandemic and the jabs you got to take for him, and I also had a guy on the show last week, a guy named Haviland. In fact, well, he was on the week before. Haviland, right? And he's the guy that got kicked out of the Army because he wouldn't take the shot. He actually was a contractor after a career with the Army, and he refused to take the shot. So then he went the other way, and he started doing some research with these white fibrous clots, blood clots, and he found a whole bunch of these things that embalmers had that they'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And so he's been doing this for about 4 years or so, right from almost the beginning, and it doesn't go away. People are still dying from their shots. It doesn't go away. And so this is serious stuff. You got all sorts of money they're giving to these congressmen, and that's why you see when Bobby Kennedy is up there, they're all trying to tear him apart crap like that. Even some of the doctors have bought in who are in Congress. Okay, this is something. I caught on to this early. The Vayers report from the CDC.
By the way,
yeah.
I heard Mel Gibson the other day.
Yeah.
Talk about his friends.
Yeah.
That were cured of cancer. Okay. They were given a combination of two drugs, fenbenzidol or something like that.
Yeah.
And another deworming type drug. And it put their cancers into remission.
It's
okay.
Ivermectin and fenbenzidol.
Ivermectin.
And fenbenzidol.
Play the song.
No.
Quick. Don't say no. All right. We're gonna play his song. You can sing it for everybody. Ivermectin, I take it by the pill. Ivermectin, the pandemic it will chill. Ivermectin, I let it take its course. Ivermectin, now I'm neighing like a horse. Huh?
That's good, Dave.
No applause? Oh, that's all right. No, it's good.
Hey, did you hear that Kraft Cheese is building a subsidiary in Israel?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're going to call it Cheeses of Nazareth.
Yeah, righty. That's pretty good. Now I got to come up with that. Oh, Did you hear about the? I could get into trouble for this one, but I'm going to say it anyways. Did you hear about the donkey, the donkey preacher, whose only daughter was about to get married, and he wanted to do the ceremonies. So the final thing he said was, "And now you may kiss my ass." All right, it's been a great show. We're over, I think, forever. Oh, come on. You can say that word. It's an ass, isn't it?
Yeah, you ever listen to the Dan Bongino show?
Yeah, of course I have. He's mentioned me before. I hope he forgets me now that he's with the FBI, though.
Yeah, but he uses a lot of colorful language.
I know. And he got nailed a few times, didn't he? Yeah. So, all
I
right.
missed the show, actually.
So what else you got? We covered just about everything, I think. What else you got? What's your prediction for who's going to be running this country in 28? Is it going to be Donald Trump?
It may be.
Maybe. What's got to happen?
I don't know for certain.
Yeah.
But since we don't have a legitimate second party, we might have to continue with Republican governance.
What about J.D. Vance?
I don't know if he's ready.
Well, he's got 4 years. He'll have a great teacher.
We'll see.
All right. What about Lockhart? That guy named Lockwood.
Now there's a possibility.
Oh, you know a lot. Yeah, there you go. You gonna have the beard? You'll be Abraham Lincoln.
Shave that off.
Huh?
I have to shave that. Either that or grow a ponytail.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you fit right in. There you go.
Did you see
All
Al
right.
Green the other night?
Who? Oh yeah, Al Green.
Al Green.
Yeah, he. What a jerk. We played it. We played it on the air.
Yeah, and Richard, we announced earlier, it came out about an hour ago that the House censured Representative Al Green, and I actually did a quick look, and from what I can tell, it was a vote straight down the party line. Republicans said yes, Democrats said no, but they had the majority, so he is now officially censured.
How about that?
Excellent.
Can he still vote? I suppose he can.
I don't know how that works. I'd have to look up more on the censoring what that does. So.
I doubt that they're going to take his vote away because he represents people.
Served.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Listen, I appreciate you, and it was a great appearance on the show, and we'll do this again sometime. Keep looking at that stuff. Yeah, get on and talk to Grok. Maybe we can gang up on Grok 3 and get Elon Musk on the show with all of us. And
wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go for it. I know I'm nowhere near as smart as he is, but then again, he's got some special skills, I'll tell you. All right.
He certainly does.
Let's hear it for Richard C. Lockwood. Great job. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks. All right, we got about 3 minutes left. Do I have a board to read? Or are you too bored to put it on?
No, we got a few from, let's see.
Andrea Shrum.
Yeah, she's got one here about Cancer Society.
Andrea Shrum, that is why we don't give to the American Cancer Society. They have no intention of providing a cure. They use your money to make more drugs that keep you sick. Isn't this interesting? Andrea Shrum and chlorine dioxide.
Yeah. Talking about the drugs that help cure cancer.
So oh, okay.
That's actually
and it's ivermectin. Apparently,
that's actually been the belief for a while. Is that
yeah,
they've had the cure for cancer and other drugs or other diseases for quite a while, but they're not releasing them because they're just making too much money.
Mm. You have to wonder about all of the things that they have. So, what else do we got?
So we had
Idiocracy continues. Treason and sedition going checked. Whoever the guy, this is guy, I don't know.
Yeah, I responded to him with a couple of comments because this guy will come in and comment and then leaves the show. He doesn't. I'm like, So one of my comments was,
Okay.
well, if you got such a problem, why do you keep coming back?
He's-
That's what I find
so
funny.
what? No big deal. Keep going. Let me see.
We did that one here. We're down about a minute left on the show.
All right. That's fine. All right, that's fine. We'll leave it there. All right, listen. Thank you for listening to the show. I know it's Thursday, not Friday, and I hope you're looking for me on Friday. You'll look on the Dave Weinbaum Show or on Rumble. It'll still be there. It'll be on all the all the stuff where podcasts go. It's going to be on Amazon, iTunes, and what's one that's
iHeartRadio, Spotify.
What's the one
there's
we're
this
doing?
new one called Chrome that is really
my
taking
God.
off internationally.
We are kicking butt there, literally. All right, we'll be back next week for another edition of the Dave Weinbaum Show. Have a great weekend.
Keep on your toes and don't stop.